apologize. I was having some issues, some slight technical issues. So I do hope you can forgive me for my tardiness. Hang on. Oh my God, the mic's not even in. Oh, sorry, BlaXit family. Let me start again because the mic wasn't in either. Hello, BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family. I do hope you can see and hear me. Mod, can you check that we're live, please, this time? I thought we were live before, but we wasn't. And we were doing something called casting, which I've never seen before. And I didn't know what was going on. So I had to literally restart the whole live. So if you didn't see me, I do apologize. If you didn't hear me, I do apologize. So I do apologize for being a tad late. I hope you are still with us. I hope you're still joining us for today's live here on BlaXit. If you're new to BlaXit, BlaXit is all about the exits from the black people. That's right. If you're a black man or you're a black woman, you're an African, from the West back to the best, and that is Africa. We are broadcasting from here in the beautiful, beautiful Gambia in the west coast of Africa, which is the country that I have made my home. I left England for good and came to Africa to live for good. And I'm here to share my journey, and I've been sharing my journey for many years with you. And also here to tell you about the benefits about living in Africa, and also to share how I did it. How did I get here? How did I build my house? How did I live my life? How did I start my business? How have I raised my family? How have I survived through divorce? And so much more. So many of you that have been here with me from day one, my A1 day ones, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for joining BlaXit. Thank you for joining the live today. Thank you for being a part of the BlaXit family. And thank you for joining us on the journey. Today's cast might be slightly different because we're having some work done. So they're messing with the electric. We're updating our solar. And so I do hope that you can see and hear me. Hi, Liani. Resurrection, thank you. I'm well. How are you? Thank you. I hope you got my email. So now you have the contact details for me. So let's liaise. Let's get back in contact, okay? So I did find your email. Unfortunately, I get so many things that I put among spam. So I do really apologize for that, yeah? And hello to Golden Arrow as well, and welcome to BlaXit. Please let me know who you are and where you are so I can give you a shout out and a personal welcome. I'm Nyancho Kajabi, aka Juliet. I am the founder and also the CEO for BlaXit. And this is the original BlaXit. It's not BlaXit this or BlaXit that. It is just BlaXit, and BlaXit is all about your repatriation, relocation back to Africa, back to our nation, our mother nation, our father nation, to Africa. Africa is a continent with 54 countries to choose from. It's like a mansion with many rooms, and you can choose one to return to. So yes, I am part of the Garveyite movement, encouraging people to return back to Africa. Okay, so Liliani, yeah, hello. Golden Arrow. Okay, so yeah, I'm pushing forward on that. Always have pushed forward on that, and of course, I'm always pushing forward for our reparations. I have never stopped, and I will never stop pushing for our reparations. And last week's program, we did talk about reparations, and that was in preparation for the huge event that is happening here in the Gambia. There is a massive event happening here in the Gambia this week, and many nations all across Africa are here in the Gambia, okay? Very important event, which is, I think that it's the 85th ordinary session, right, of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, okay? It is the 85th ordinary session, yeah, of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, okay, ACHPR. And it is a really, really interesting one, because you know why? Things have changed in Africa. We have changed in Africa. Things are on the up in Africa. Even this week, who is the richest black man in Africa today with a net worth of 30.2 million? Tell me, family, when they said you can't make money in Africa, do not believe them. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. How could this man be net worth 30.2 billion? I didn't say million. I said billion. A black man, an African. Now tell me, who is this African? And I'm going to give you lots of clues, and I want you to tell me in the comment section, because when they say you can't get rich in Africa, do not believe them. When they try and tell you Africa is poor, do not believe them. What Africa is over exploited, okay, by the wrong people. Okay, he's from Nigeria. Who said that? Okay, is your script straight? What script? From an AI Buffett train. What's a Buffett train? I've got no idea what he's talking about. So no, it's not from an AI Buffett train. It's hilarious. Do you read? Because I read. It's very important. And when I'm talking about the 85th Ordinary Session, it's because it's here in the Gambia. That's right. And of course, it's the African Union. The African Union Commission is holding its 85th Ordinary Session. And of course, this year is the year. Oh, by the way, for the people, I've got to, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. So, BlaXit is a high vibrational channel. So if you're not high vibrational and you cannot vibe on a high vibration, okay, and you cannot keep it positive, this is not the channel for you, okay? This is about our unity. This is about our progress. This is about our return to Africa. This is about our self-determination. This is about our development, our success, our enrichment, yeah, and our self-love, our self-respect, and our progress. If this is not for you, this is not the channel for you. So if you want to go and talk about AI buffets or whatever, go to another channel, a food channel, okay? This is not about food. Yeah, this is food for thought, okay? This is our mind emancipation, okay? About us returning to our original ancestral nation, okay? Let me make that very, very clear to you, okay? So please, housekeeping, we keep it high vibrational, okay? High vibration is positive vibes, okay? We're thinking ahead, we're thinking positive. Low vibrational is jealousy, okay? Low vibrational is envy. Low vibrational is lies. Low vibrational is trying to, you know, say negative things to try and bring people down. Low vibrational, okay, is people that have no self-worth, no self-value, and seek, right, validation and acceptance from others. Us on this channel here, we're not seeking that. We're moving forward, okay? We are moving forward. We know who we are. We are Africans. We are proud to be Africans, okay? And we are charting ahead. I'm not interested in numbers. I'm interested in quality of people, okay? Quality of people who want to return. Quality of people which are the chosen ones that know that this is their destiny. Quality of people that are willing to come and say, yes, I'm going to invest in the people, invest in the land, and invest in myself, okay? And invest in the country, and invest in the progress of Africa, okay? And do it in a mutually agreeable manner. So let me just make that clear. That's the housekeeping, okay? So that you know. So if this is not the channel for you, okay, you know, thank you for stopping by. But let me tell you something. If you are interested in this, it's the channel for you. We have a great live ahead. This is our weekly live broadcast, which we, you know, we're a bit like the Matrix, the Kazena, I forgot the name of the shit, comes up to broadcast, okay? So we've come up to broadcast, to send out that information, that high frequency information, Okay? In order for you to be on this frequency, you need to be on the same vibration as us, and that's high vibration, positive vibration, a love frequency, high vibration. Am I made myself clear? Okay, now listen, our mod had an accident. Okay, so he is resting with his leg up, but he's still moderating. So I need you to take it easy on him this week. So mod, if there's anything negative, just, take them out straight away. Don't stress yourself, okay? And of course, I wish you speedy recovery and better. And thank you for helping and assisting regardless. So everybody, our mod, who's Cafe, had an accident. So please bear with him this week, and please be patient with him. Send in your well wishes, and let's get into today's program. Okay, so let's keep positive. Okay, let's keep positive. Who's this? Let me say hello to people that are in the chat first. So Mark, how are you? Yeah, guapa. Thank you. Yeah, Gelly, thank you. Yeah, okay, she said it. Aliko Dangote, absolutely. According to Bloomberg, he is, what did they say? Let me not misquote, actually. Let me not misquote. Let me say he's the richest black man, yeah, who's an African man, who's a Nigerian, and congratulations to Gerland, yeah, Montpellier World, yeah, thank you so much. And, a lot of love to you as well. Thank you so much, Galant. You're a wonderful person, and a lovely empress. And I thank you for your contribution. And thank you for being a member of the BlaXit family. And I wish you every success in your BlaXit. Okay, so yes, you are right. You are right, Galand. It is Ali Dongati. Yeah, sorry, Aliko Don. Did you hear what I said? Aliko Dangote. I said Dengati. I don't know where I got. I'm thinking about a car. Aliko Dangote. Yeah. Sorry about that, Aliko, if you're watching. Yeah, he is, and with a net worth of 30.2 billion net worth. And some people are saying that there's no money to be made in Africa. I think he proves us completely wrong. Now, he has made his money in cement and cement refinery, okay? And what else has he made his money? Let's see if anyone can tell me. Excited Born says, oh, glorious, the bird looking. I think she's on the wrong channel. Okay. BlaXit forever. I hope the wood gets. Is that oh, Sooty Teddy? I used to watch that. What was it? Was it Play Days or something? I can't remember. It was a long time ago. I hope Mod gets well. I need help. I have multiple. I won't say what you said, okay? But thank you so much. And hi Dover, hi, thank you so much. Do make yourself known in the comment section. Do not stay and stay quiet, silent, and please help us to spread the word. Please subscribe to the channel. And please give us lots of thumbs up if you can, okay? So yeah, there was also some other good news about more visa-free travel across Africa as well. And I probably will go into that next week, okay? So, okay, thank you so much for subbing. Yeah, Sesi, and I love you too, okay? Thank you so much. So yeah, so Dangote, is what I mean, 30.2 billion. I should have put my money on my phone on Do Not Disturb. I do apologize. Is a lot of money. Okay, is a 30.2 billion is a lot of money to make, and for an African man to have done this is absolutely phenomenal. So I take my hat. Well, I don't take my hat off, but I lift my hat off to him. And this is according to African Business Insider, and also another source, which was afrotech.com, and also Bloomberg. So 3 sources there have said it. Now, he has 11 production plants, 11, imagine that, across Africa, right? And in terms of capacity, he does approximately 55 million tons of cement annually. Can you imagine 55 million tons of cement annually? Okay. And he does oil refining as well. And his oil refinery, and this is in Nigeria, by the way, and across other African countries. And I think he's just added Congo to the list. He plans to expand his production from 650,000 to 1.4 million barrels. This is of oil, okay? And that's a day, by the way. That is per day. So he wants to do 1.4 million barrels a day of oil, okay? Which would surpass the Indian company Jamna Refinery, who's one of the largest globally, that do 1.36 million barrels per day. So can you imagine? And this is an African. So be proud to be African today. Be proud to be be proud to be Gambian. Be proud to be African today. Okay. And he's just a prime example of when you put your mind to it and you follow your dreams, you can achieve, okay? That's very important. I want you to know that. It's crucial, important, and very important for you to know that. Now, something happened yesterday that I want to talk about. Something happened in Gambia yesterday. Now, I think it's very important for us to talk about it, okay? Because this year is the year of reparations, okay? It is the themed year of reparations according to the AU. And yesterday, there was a session, and these sessions are happening up until the 30th of October, if you are interested, okay, and you want to go and interview. Unfortunately, because my son had the accident, my plans went to pot, so I did not do what I wanted to do at the beginning of the session. So everything kind of went in a different direction for me this week. Okay, so I do apologize if I have not been very responsive online and stuff. I have been nursing my son to good health. Okay, so it's been happening at the Sir Dawda Karaba Jawara International Conference Centre, which BlaXit has covered on this channel. So you would have seen it on BlaXit. If you've been watching BlaXit for a while, you would have seen that we actually went to the International Conference Centre and we covered it there. So hi Sashi, how are you? Yeah, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us, okay? So that's in the conference centre in Gambia, which is in Bijilo, okay? And there was a 60-minute session, which I'm pulling to you. There was a lot of good sessions there, really interesting sessions. I must admit, I was watching it online because I wasn't able to be there. And I'll try and post the address on the community page so that you yourself can follow it as well. And also subscribe to the African Union channel. Yeah, there were 60 minutes with 4 speakers, okay, which was followed by audience interaction, yeah. But like I said, unfortunately, my son had an accident, so I had to be there and not there. Where are you from? Okay, I was born in England and I live in the Gambia and I'm an African woman. I hope that helps. Okay, so there were some people that were in presence, and I just want to obviously reference them because it's quite important, okay? Being live is, in what sense? Okay, so there was the Honourable Commissioner Zakaria Madford Nwandiga, okay, I hope I'm saying her name right, Nwandiga, yeah, and she was the chairperson of a working group on economics, social and cultural affairs, ECOSSOC, okay, and her topic was the AU African Union theme, which is the year of 2025, which is reparations, okay? And the agenda vis-a-vis for the UN second decade for African people of African descent, yeah, and convergencies and synergies to enhanced leverage. Okay, that was a mouthful, okay? So by and large, she's talking about the conversions of the two events and how they can be leveraged in order to impact on the theme of reparations for 2025, okay, in a more simplistic way. And then there was another lady, and I do want to say at this point, yeah, maybe I should say at the end, wait, I might say at the end, actually. You know, I hope that we're not ostracizing, over bureaucratizing, complicating, politicizing the demand for reparations, and you know, those people that are supposed to be benefiting from it, and also it being impacted into making change are not actually, you know, relegated to the sidelines, and it's just become a political debate. So I hope I'm not, you know, over politicizing as well, but I'm just telling you what happened. Okay, so okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm just telling you what happened. So there was Mary Izobo. Yeah, she was program manager for the Center for the Study of Violence and Reconciliation, the CSVR, and her topic was the legal foundations for reparatory justice, success and challenges in advancing the African common position in the reparations agenda. So in other words, yeah, what is the common theme? What is the common thing that all African nations are going to do in order to get reparatory justice? And when I'm talking about justice, I'm talking about justice for slavery, okay, of our ancestors, okay, as we are African descendants, most of us that are watching this channel, okay. If you have any questions, you know, at this point, please put them in, because I told you I don't want to I don't want you to kind of run away and think, oh my gosh, here she goes, right? But this is the AU, right? 85th ordinary session of the African Commission on Human People's Rights, which is happening in the Gambia as I speak. Okay, this is happening as I speak, and these honorable members and these other people are representing you. Organizations are there representing you, representing your your inclusion. And so it's important for you to feel included. And so this is why I'm talking about it, because I might have mentioned it, you might not even have known that it was happening at all. Okay, so Goodwill Jones said you're from. Sorry, I've answered that already, so you will forgive me for moving on. Okay, and she spoke about the common position of reparations in the agenda. Okay, so then there was Mr. Sifuya. I want to actually see if I can talk to him actually before he goes. Yeah, Baleka. He's the founder of the head of the Balenta Society in the USA. And his topic was, I didn't like this word, Afro-descendants, because we're not a hairstyle, we're African descendants, okay? But anyway, and I, you know, Euro is different to Africa. If it was Afro, it'll be Afri. And I don't mind Afri rather than Afro, because Afro reminds me a bit of a hairstyle, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so just forgive me with this term, yeah? He said Afro-descendants, yeah? Network's response to the adoption of the ACHPR, which of course is what I said already, the African Commission on Human Rights, okay, to the adoption of the People's Rights Resolution 616/2024 and their letters of commendation to states granting citizenship to African descendants, okay, and efforts in tracing ancestry and defining the focus of the African Union's decade of reparations 2026 to 2036. So we are going to have a whole decade, okay? And that is going to be the decade of 2026, that starts from next year, to 2036, okay? Which is going to be the decade of reparations. You hear me? So we're going to have a decade. In this 10 years, we must can get reparations. Huh? We must can get reparations. Okay, I think it's important, okay? Then there was Dr. Philippe Noguera, okay? He's the coordinator of the Caribbean, and so I'm just showing you the representation, so I just want you to know, okay? The Caribbean coordinator of the Pan-African and Indigenous movement. And so I'll say it again, Dr. Philippe Noguera, yeah, he's the coordinator of the Caribbean, Pan-African and Indigenous movement, okay? I have 2 housekeepers. I have got no idea what you're talking about. There's someone in there that's talking about their house or whatever. I've got no idea. I don't know about your reality. I don't even know if what you're saying is real. But what I am saying is that there's no point in being, I don't know what anyone's talking about in the chat. I've got completely lost. Okay. And for me, I think I don't think, it's about ego. It's about we go. Okay. I think that's really important. It's about we go. Pastor CM, sorry. Oh, actually, I would love a glass of water. Thank you so much. So, Jericho. Do you know what? Let's keep this high vibrational. This is what we agreed to, okay? Let's keep this high vibrational, okay? Yeah, we can definitely have a chat, okay? And that is the Liliani resurrection, okay? Mod, I told you that he's injured, so please go easy on him, okay? Now, for those people that are talking about, you already know my stance, okay? You already know my stance on certain deviant behavior, so you don't need to talk about it here, okay? So anyway, so Dr. Philippe, he talked about, his topic was the progress by Pan-African Congress, that's PAC, and I'll just give you a quick précis. When I was in England, it was one of the organizations that I, really supported in terms of what their ideology was and what they were doing, and I did meet a lot of members, and I was very much, involved in reparations, both with organizations and off my own bat as well, off my own back, doing what I think is, right for our people. So anyway, so I was pleased to see that, the Pan-African Congress being there and also being active and being mentioned, which is very important, okay? So the progress of the Pan-African Congress PAC towards the implementation of the AU's theme of the year of 2025, which of course we know is reparations, okay? And PAC's reflections on the African Union's decade of reparations for 2026 and 2036. And what should we aim to achieve? Now, this is the question that I want to put to you. Okay? What do you think? Okay? Now, there's hundreds and hundreds of people at this event, okay? From all over Africa are at this event right now, right here in the Gambia. And I might be there speaking to some of them. So I would like to know, if I was to talk to you, for example, the chairman isn't there, but there are other people there from the AU, and there are other people there from lots of different nations. If I was to go and speak to some of those nations, yeah, I would like to know, what do you think that we should aim to achieve collectively with the AU, right, with regard to the decade of reparations, what should we achieve? I would like to see your ideas. I would like to have your say. I would like to hear what you have to say. What should we achieve? So I'm going to start the ball rolling, right? I'm also going to give you also some of the information that was shared by the chairman, because I want to put it into context, okay? I want to put it into context, but just hold tight for 1 second. I wrote notes also from the chairman. So the context, thank you for the hearts. That is very sweet of you. Some more, please. Oh, anyway, yeah. So what are we talking about here? We're talking, the first thing that we talked about, I'm just going to give you a very brief catch up. We were talking about the fact that people will say, oh, you can't make money in Africa and blah, blah, blah. So we were talking about Africa's now, according to Bloomberg, Business Insider and Afrotech.com, we have the richest black man is an African, and he's a Nigerian called Aliko Dangote, and his net worth is 30.2 billion. Homemade African, okay? Homemade African billionaire whose net worth is 30.2 billion. So we were talking about that, okay? So we were talking about Dangote, okay? And we were talking about his production plants, his oil refineries, etc. And then, we were talking about the fact that you can be successful, okay, in Africa. Yes, you can, okay? And he's living proof. So it's not just, it's not just pie in the sky, okay? I know it looks like I'm a chef today. But this is one of my fave traditional hats that goes with another outfit. It doesn't actually go with this outfit, but anyway, that's by the by. This has got white in it, so I thought it would go. Anyway, but yeah, that is just like the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So for those people that thought, okay, you can't make it and you can't become wealthy and you can't become rich unless you're living in England or unless you're living in America, well, Dangote proves you wrong. Okay? Dangote proves you wrong. So for the lady that says she's living in a nice house on her thing, compare that to $30.2 billion. He's a billionaire. And I'm sure that he'd probably be able to fit your house and many others, okay, in a very small space within his acquisitions, okay. And he has spaced his operations over 11 different countries. Now he's expanded, and he's also looking to expand his oil refinery to now beating one of the largest oil refineries, which is an Indian company called Jamnair. He wants to beat them. They're now pumping 1.36 million barrels daily, and he wants to beat them by pumping 1.4 million barrels of oil daily. So what I'm saying to you is that this is the real life. Who used to watch Dallas, okay? Here's the real life Black JR, okay? But, superseding that wealth. Superseding that wealth. He has 30.2 billion, okay? So this is the richest black man. So we were talking about that. And then we're talking about a huge event that is happening here where people, okay, of importance, okay, and relevance are here in the Gambia for the 85th ordinary session of the African Commission on Human Rights and People's Rights, okay, on Human and People's Rights, the ACHPR. And what are they talking about? This is the year of reparations. Okay? This is the year for reparations. And next year, from 2026 to 2036, will be the year, the decade, right? The decade for reparations. Okay? It's about high time that we got what was right and just for us. And we were speaking about this last week. So it was perfect that we were speaking about this last week to have an amazing event where the landscape has changed in Africa and people understand that it is not right for people to still, even up to 2025, go into their nations without consulting the local communities, without consulting the nation themselves, without consulting the government, go and steal their resources. And it's happening today in 2025. So reparations is a must. It's not just about slavery. Because they've also been stealing our artifacts, stealing our resources, and stealing our people. Slavery is not a thing of the past, because I am, and DNA of slavery still lives with me. The trauma, the post-traumatic stress syndrome of slavery lives still in our DNA. Okay? The fact that we were displaced. I had to come to Africa on my own. This is Gambia. This is where I am recording from. This is where I am speaking from. I had to come to Gambia on my own and make it on my own. There was no repatriation fund in order to return us from whence we came. There was no fund to make sure that when we come back, that we have ample provisions in order to make sure that we can be rehoused, removed, and set up our businesses and whatever we have to do. Okay, there was no compensation fund for us, for those who choose to come back. And there should be, because there was compensation for the people that enslaved our ancestors. They received huge amounts of compensation. In fact, I did a program on this in BlaXit previously, and I might post it again on the community page for you all to see. Okay, so Bernice, hi. Okay, whoever I've missed, sorry. Yeah, Ron P, hi. Okay. And so I know it's not actually a chef's hat. It looks like it, but actually it's not. Okay, it was made as part of a suit. Okay, it was made as, it's actually a spiritual hat. Right. So anyway, this event is very important, and some very important questions have been raised, as I've just mentioned. I'm not going to go back over them in too much detail. But the last question, I think, what should we aim to achieve, right, for 2026 to 2036 with regard to the decade of reparations? Now, these are your reparations. These are your rights. This is your birthright, and you have the right to have a say. So I would like to know, what do you think we should achieve, okay? What do you think we should achieve, all right, in tandem, working with the African Union and other organs, other organizations, other societies, other nations, right, other countries, okay, uniformly and in unity. That's what I want to say, in unity, in solidarity, together. What should we achieve? Okay, this is very, very important. Okay. And this was started by African Union Rights Day, okay? And of course, the African Union theme of the year 2025 is justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations, okay? I'll read that again, okay? Justice for, right, Africans and people of African descent, which is us, okay, through reparations. That is the theme of the year. That is the theme of the year. So I did say that I had a plan, okay? I had a plan on how I think that we could be contributing to this, okay? And how we can add to this. And I think the first thing is about raising awareness, because when I looked on the website, there was only 1,000 subscribers, over 1,000 subscribers on there. So that's just not good enough. And we can do that simply by going to the website. I'll post it on the community page and subscribing, okay? Now, the fact of the matter is, regardless of what your take is on African Union, we need it. Okay? Regardless of what your take is on the African Union, we need the African Union. Okay, we do. And the foundation and the basis of the African Union, when you look at what Haile Selassie had to say, when you look at Kwame Nkrumah had to say, and what they went through to even create the African Union today. Okay, so we shouldn't just look at one case scenario of maybe a situation or, some, rivalry or whatever, or in fighting. We have to look at the organization, an organization that we can back, that we can support in order to get what we want and what we need. All right, on a collective basis. Evan, Christopher said also, should the... Okay, so I will talk about that on another show. Right now, I'm dealing with Africans because this is about the African Union, okay? The African Union, okay? And I don't think that your area is in Africa, okay? So I'm just saying, okay? I don't think that that area is in Africa. So I'm just keeping within the geographical area that we're talking about, okay? And that's very important that we keep focused, okay? So what I want to say, right, is that we do have rights, okay? We do have rights. And it's important that when we have our rights, that we stand on our rights. I think that we as a people have been a little bit passive, and I think this needs to be undone. We need to get active, okay? We need to get active. Very, very important, okay? I'm not saying anything's wrong with the AU. I'm saying that we need to back the AU in what they're doing, okay? We need to back the AU. I'm saying that, people have, in the past, there are people, right, which have tried to negate the importance of the AU, or, there's been some, let's say, decisions that were made that some people didn't agree with. This happens in all organizations, okay? But let's look at the cut and thrust of what we can achieve together, working together. And that includes everybody that's an influencer, everybody that has a voice, okay? Everybody that can impact change, okay? That can impact change. Because at the end of the day, if you go and you're saying, okay, we're going to demand reparations from England, it has to be a big organization backed by all of the African nations and all of the Caribbean nations in tandem together. Bam. Okay, it has to be something that is also, I know that they made the law at the time, but it also has to be that we have maybe our own session, our own quangos, you understand? Our own tribunals, our own quango tribunals, maybe even, okay? But it has to be, yeah? So we have to come as one. And this is very, very important. What listening to the sessions has been really, really informative to me. And I would like if the AU could break them down and put them as separate programs and label them as separate programs, because not everybody's going to watch an 8-hour stream. Okay, so in order to increase accessibility for people to the information and for participation, they also need to involve online participation of individuals and organizations that are not going to be there, because not everybody is an honorable, you understand? But you are honorable. You see what I'm saying? You might not be a member of parliament, but you still have a say. And I think that's important. So I think there needs to be more work done in terms of outreach, okay? In terms of outreach to us everyday people and influencers, okay? And, educators, just everybody and anybody, okay? That is an African descendant and also an African on the continent, because it has to go wider now. It has to go bigger. And we have to use this decade, okay? We have to use this decade to our advantage. Okay, we have to use all the leverage that we have to ensure that we hit it on all sides. And one of the things that I would say is that I would love to have seen just this whole conference just on reparations. just on reparations. And I think in the future, if they are going to do one, they should have one just on reparations and invite any organization that has been pushing for reparations. Okay, I think that's so important. Yeah, and let me just read what Liliani Resurrection has said. Yeah, unity is the fundamental strength that will forge positive change. Now, having representation of all African nations here in the Gambia as we speak is so crucial, is so important. Okay, especially when, you know, reparatory justice is on the table. Now, we've talked about it, but now here's the reality. Who would have thought in 2025, all African nations would be here in Gambia, the country that I decided to repatriate to, would be hosting this and be hosting reparations as not only the theme of the year for 2025, but also for the decade of 2026 to 2036. Who would have thought it? Isn't it phenomenal? This is historical, fam. This is historical. This is no more than historical. You know, when you think back, I was talking about Nanny of the Maroons last week. I was talking about Taki. I was talking about Simon Harding. I've been talking about so many people that have been instrumental. I also wanted to talk about Toussaint Overture. I also wanted to talk about Harriet Tubman. I also want to talk about, and this, we can dedicate this to Harriet Tubman even, okay? And the Underground Railroad. Look how much she did in order to get us from being enslaved. And we mustn't forget what our ancestors had to endure in order for us to, you know, live the privileges and, you know, type of freedom. I didn't say fully free. Type of freedom, right, that we get to enjoy today. Okay, that we get to enjoy today. And we mustn't forget their sufferation. We mustn't forget what they suffered. I heard that, you know, in America, that the president wanted to take down one of the pictures of George, the man with the beard who was whipped, and they took a picture of his back. You know, they want plausible deniability. They want to move away from what they've done. And the way that we can ensure that we get reparations is by reminding them daily of what they've done. Reparations cannot be a situation where it's just an essence of a word. Reparations has to be exactly what it means, and it has to be for us to have all of that returned and for us to be compensated. Okay? Because what we went through was the most inhumane chapter in human history. The most evil and wicked chapter in evil history. What our people had to endure was the worst torture inflicted on any human beings over a period of 300 to 400 years. And we're still suffering from racism today. Whether it's Sandra Bland or, you know, whether it's George Floyd or you know, so many people. Whether it's Smiley Culture, you know, whether it's Mark Duggan, it's so many people. Yeah, it's more than that. What about the damage that's been done to us? What about our displacement? You know, what about all the racism that we had to suffer and our children had to suffer still today? What about all those people that died in, you know, unusual circumstances in police stations and mental health institutions and in schools? Yeah? Oh, let me say a big up to McConnon, okay? McConnon is also one of our A1 Day ones, and also Seth. Yeah, big yourselves up because you were the original cameramen and editors for BlaXit from the beginning. We're going back over 6 years now. So thank you to the International Book Show. McConnon, I wish you a full and speedy recovery, okay? And thank you for watching. Everybody, please, McConnon, put about your books in the comment section so I can read them out loud. So everybody, big up McConnon, because McConnon is really, I've got to say, a trendsetter in terms of really bringing books and knowledge, okay, to the newer generation in a different way. And I really like what he's done. He's like a prodigal son in that way. He's used radio, he's used the internet, he's used events, and he's used travel, and he's combined them using social media in order to create an attraction for Black authors, so that we can get our Black information and our Black knowledge from our own people, our own story, our own narratives, our own experiences told from our own tongues and through our own minds, on our own basis, without being censored. So thank you so much, McConnell, for doing that. McConnell's also featured on BlaXit, so you can always go back and see his interviews of when he was here in the Gambia also. Sunshine Corner, long time. How are you? Yeah. Hiya, Juliet. It's been a while. Yeah, just joined you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, doing very well, thank you. But Gaffrey, my mod, my lovely son, yeah, had an accident. So please slow down with the negativity, because this is a high vibration, high frequency channel. So if you want to talk about anything to do with homosexuality, this is not the channel for you. As you know, I live in Gambia, where it is illegal. Homosexuality is illegal. Okay? So I'm just letting you know that. Okay? And 30 African countries, yeah, have not legalized homosexuality. So it's not something that, you think you can go onto different channels and just promote your lifestyle. It is not approved of in many, many countries in the world. It is not approved of. It's seen as a deviant lifestyle. It's seen as something that is not, approved of in terms of the creation of normal human behavior, okay? It is just not seen as approved of, okay? And for me, the energy of homosexuality is chaotic. It's anti-creation, okay? And energy is everything. Energy is everything. That's why slavery existed, is because they wanted to exploit and harvest our energy. And they don't want you to know. They want you to think, oh, money, oh, gold, whatever, but no, energy. It's energy. Energy is the #1 resource, okay? Yeah, thank you. Hit that like button, said Guada. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. So we talked about the fact that they said, oh, there's been a lot of negative talk about Africa, and people saying, no, you can't get rich and whatever. Well, Bloomsburg, and just to bring you into the fold, Sunshine Corner, we were talking about the fact that Bloomsburg, Africa Business Insider, let me get that right. Let me go back and make sure I said it right. Africa Business Insider and Afrotech.com are all sources that said that Dangote is the richest Black man in the world, okay? And that his net worth is 30.2 billion. Okay, and where did he come from? Africa. Where does he live? Africa. Where's his business? Africa. Okay, so now he is proof and pudding. When people want to talk about poverty in Africa, say to them, no, I'm going to Dangote you. Okay, people want to talk about the little house they got in America, say, I'm going to Dangote you. Okay, I'm going to Dangote you. Okay, say, I'm going to Dangote you. Aliko Dangote you. You're telling me I can't move to Africa because everyone's poor? I'm going to Aliko Dangote you. Okay? The proof of the pie is in eating, and he proved it. Okay? So that's the proof. You tell them. When they tell you Africa's poor, I'm going to Aliko Dangote you. Okay? Thank you very much. Assalam. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. And the love goes all the way back. Okay? 100% plant-based. Black man says, what's up? Hi, sweetie. How are you? So anyway, remember, you can still... Oh, questions. I forgot questions. Okay. You can still send your questions to +220 240 5273. Now, there might be a slight delay because I dropped and cracked the screen of the phone. Okay? So just bear with me, okay? So if you want to email, we can access that from the computer, okay? From the iMac or whatever, okay? Autumn anxiety. Am I from Australia? No. Okay. So, this is the importance. And the reason why, as I said, we've got to ramp ourselves up. So we use not just 2025 effectively, okay? So this conference is a mark of something remarkable. Every nation from Africa right now, right, is in the Gambia, okay? And they're talking about the year of reparations. They're talking about justice for Africans and people of the African diaspora descent through reparations, justice through reparations for us. Okay, this is no means feat. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of people. I will try and see if I can get some coverage. Okay, I'll try. You've got to see this. It is amazing. It is remarkable. It is phenomenal. I'm talking from Eswatini to Somalia to Senegal to Chad to Mauritius to everywhere. Plus organizations. Plus America as well, and different organizations from America who are here for, citizenship and so on. Because it's not just that. I am also fighting for citizenship for us across Africa. African Union, give us that African sixth region passport for all African descendants. And I don't want to take no blood tests. If you can't see I'm black, okay? Because other people can take blood tests and have African DNA. But look at me, you can see I'm black. Give me that passport, okay? Okay. So I'm saying, let's get behind this. Let's get behind this. So anyway, I just want to read a little bit from the chairperson because it wouldn't be right me not doing so. Okay, so the chairperson is His Excellency, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, okay, is His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, okay? And he said, these are his words, "We are reminded to move beyond remembrance and towards renewable redress." He said, "This session provides an opportunity to reflect on our progress and to reaffirm our collective commitment to the founding ideals of the African Charter on Human Dignity, Equality and Justice for all Africans." Yeah? He said, this year's African Union theme, yeah, underscores a moral and political imperative. I already told you it's reparations, okay? Imperative to confront, yeah, historical injustices. You hear that? Confront. That's what we need to do. We need to have a proper marketing plan. We need to have, because marketing and media is key. And everybody in the media who's of African descent, everybody who's in the media from Africa or the Caribbean, right? Or wherever, as long as you're a black person, you're African, as long as you can have impact, it doesn't matter if you're in West Papua. We know about the injustice going on there and the human rights injustices that are going on there, okay? We should be able to have, oh, he didn't say that, by the way, I said that. Let me start from the top with his words, because I get passionate and I interject, I can't help myself. Let me start. He said that this year's African Union theme underscores a moral and political imperative to confront historical injustices and embed reparative justice within governance and development, ensuring that the promises of the African Charter becomes a lived reality for all. We stand at the moment when the Commission's work must deepen on reparative justice, on holding states to obligations that go beyond symbolic signatures. And on ensuring that human rights protection mechanisms match the most marginalized, reach the most marginalized. We must mainstream reparations. We must mainstream reparations. We must mainstream reparations. I'm going to say his words 3 times. He didn't say I must say these words 3 times, but I'm going to say we must mainstream reparations. We have 10 powerful years to get back what they took from us. And we're going to make it happen. Believe you me, the ancestors ain't sleeping. Okay? He didn't say that. Okay, I said it. But he did say we must mainstream reparations. I'm going to go back into what he said now. Okay? Into policies that support national implementation of the Commission's decisions and strengthen coordination across African Union organs and regional communities and civil society partners across our continent. I urge us all, I'm going to say it 3 times, I urge us all, yeah, all of us, okay, the Commission, member states, civil society and partners to embrace reparatory justice, not merely as a theme, but as a moral and political commitment. I rest my case. More power. More power. We're going to make it mainstream, right? That means we all have to post about reparations, okay? We have to post about reparations using our social media. We have to talk about reparations to our children and educate our children about reparations, okay? We have to start saying, you know what? We're going to pay for an advert about reparations. We're going to form our own organizations in our own communities about reparations, and we're going to feed into the AU. Okay? We're going to start our own action committees. We're going to start our own action groups. We are going to actively campaign. We're going to actively protest. We're going to actively boycott. We're going to actively research and find out all of those families and nations. I've been on, you know, whether it was Russia Today, I think it was, what was the program I was on with George a while ago. But anyway, I'll repost it somehow, okay? But we must, our ancestors did not die in vain. Our ancestors did not die in vain. Our ancestors did not die in vain. No, they never. And every day, every minute, every second that passes, right, is a second that's wasted. We have to get together with all kinds of organizations. It does not matter what your religion is, okay? It doesn't matter. Reparations is something that goes across all borders, across all classes, okay? It goes across all country borders. We are globally black. We are Africans, and we know that slavery went across so many different countries, so many different continents, okay? Please hit that like button. Thank you so much. Yeah? We have to stand up now. We have to stand up. We've got 10 years. Let's use the AU's platform to push reparations now. This year is the year of reparations. It's time for us to start all these chat groups, Zoom meetings and everything. It's time for us to start to apply pressure. Yeah? Apply pressure. Put pressure on them. Okay? Iwan, greetings. Yeah, wagwan. Yeah? Time for us to apply pressure. Okay? Africa can do it by stop bowing to the colonial masters, that's for sure. Because those ones that are afraid to demand reparations because they got, you know, someone's got their hand in their back pocket, you know what I'm saying? So it's time for us to stand on our own and say, look, we are going to be self-sufficient, and we are not begging, we are demanding. Because this is our history, this is our past, these things happen, and we cannot forget them. Other people don't forget their past, so why should we? Why should we? So this week, you know, it was a little bit of a different life because I'm very proud of Gambia for hosting the 85th ordinary session, okay? I am glad for the AU, right? For finally giving us a decade for reparations. From 2026 to 2036, we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit it hard, hit it so hard. I remember going on radio interviews. I remember going on television interviews, social media interviews, okay? I remember doing newspaper interviews. We can do this. Being involved in protests, being involved in marches, being involved in boycotts, being involved in putting together, you know, groups where people can sit down and engage with each other and talk about it. Because we cannot let it slide. We cannot let it slide. We owe it to our ancestors. You know, why did my grandma have to go through so much racism when she went to England to work? Why did the people who, you know, came off of Windrush have to go through so much and then still have to go through so much when they're then deported from England because of the Home Office? Come on. After they put so much into England, they then face deportation? No, we have to fight for our people. No, we have to fight for our ancestors. We have to fight to stop racism, because the fact that they're ignoring reparations is because the same ignorant, racist people that enforced slavery are the same ignorant, racist people that are ignoring reparations today. Do you hear me? They're the same people that are ignoring it, but we have to make sure that they cannot ignore it. And if every one of us stand up, they cannot ignore it. You understand? Some people say to me, oh, but you know, these, and we talk about this, we talk about that. But just remember, right? Oh, we've got allies and we've got supporters and we've got ever, but are they laying down their life in order to get reparations for you? I remember what Muhammad Ali said. He gave an analogy in 1971 that still stands strong today. He said, if there was 10,000 snakes, okay, heading towards me, okay, in my house, I got 10,000 snakes heading towards me, and you say to me, you know, Muhammad Ali, you know, within those 10,000 snakes, there are 1,000 snakes that like you, okay? Are you gonna open your door and say, you know, because those 1,000 snakes stood for me, you know, during civil rights movement and what have you, how do I identify those ones that stood by me when they all look the same? That's what he said. Or do I close my door to all of them and keep myself safe? So it's time for us to realize that we can only do this for ourselves. Okay? Because when people are ready, they can turn their back, okay? But we cannot turn our backs on ourselves, and we cannot wait for other people to do it. Form working group, right? Form WhatsApp groups. Make videos on TikTok. Make videos on YouTube. Make, you know, videos on Facebook. Make videos on all of the black platforms. Go to Abibi Tumi. Make a program on my BB Tumi TV, call Dr. Cambon, get advice if you're not sure about it, you know, speak to Dr. Malana. They all are very well conversed in this and, you know, are very intelligent. In fact, I'm supposed to have another session on Dr. Cambon's channel, which I will advise you of well in advance, because before it was too short notice, okay, on Abibi Tumi TV. Okay, very, very, very important. Okay, so Rube's revenge, Nub's revenge, is that? Said, if we're going to repeat history, let's not put racist rhetoric from white people in it. Well, like I said, this is about us. And this is why I gave you the analogy from Muhammad Ali. There's 1,000 snakes, okay, 10,000 snakes. and there's 1,000 that says, oh, I like you. Am I going to chance that I can separate them? No, I'm going to close the door. That's what Muhammad Ali says, and deal with things in-house. And that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with things in-house. Okay? So Liliani Resurrection says, I don't understand your point because you're referring to the ethnicity that we are insurance agents and created income of slave ships. I don't understand. I'm saying that there are, I don't understand your point. I really don't, to be honest with you. Yeah? What I am saying to you, right, is that we as a people have to stand up for our reparations. I'm not talking about insurance companies. I'm saying that we ought to target whoever benefited from slavery. Okay, there are records. I've done a program on this already. Okay, with Dr. I think it features Dr. David Olagusu. Okay, and I even interviewed him. If you go back to the interview that I interviewed him, a professor in Sierra Leone. Okay, I'll try and post some of the old programs so that maybe you can see. Okay. Okay, so listen, what I'm saying to you is, yeah, if you look at slavery, okay, you have to look from the royal families all the way down and across, okay, all the way down and across, okay. It was many, 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 many people and organizations, institutions, companies, and royal families involved. Because I remember when I went to Sierra Leone and I saw, I think it was the Royal East India Dutch Company, and they even had their cannons there, where they had to protect, that they used to protect themselves from the rebellion of the enslaved Africans. Okay? So what I'm saying, right, is that reparatory justice is a huge area, very huge area, and there are many experts in this area, okay? And there are a lot of facts. In fact, there was a study done by a university. I will try and put a lot of information out on the community page, so do keep a tab of the community page, where they actually showed the families and so on in the UK and the royal family, everybody that benefited, and how much, you know, the claim would have been worth. Now, I made that program a few years ago, so I will try and do it again. So I did do it with information and facts. Okay, I did do it on this channel, BlaXit, because you know me, I've always been fighting for reparations. So I'm not moving away from it. Okay, but what I'm saying is that we have to now move in tandem. We have to move in unity. We have to move in solidarity. We have to move in silence, and we have to move strategically. Okay? Strategically. And that is very, very important. Okay? We have to move strategically. Okay? So BlaXit family, BlaXit family, BlaXit family. I would like to say that, you know, these are high stakes. Okay, but a representative from nearly every nation, or more than every nation in Africa, plus African organizations and African descendant nations from the Caribbean, from America, from Europe, they're all here right now in the Gambia for this conference, which lasts until the 30th of October. I'll see what I can do to meet and see some people, but I'm taking care of my son. At the moment, he had an accident. So, you know, that is my priority right now. You know, I wanted to share the information with you because I don't know how many of you actually knew that there's going to be a decade for reparatory justice. I don't know how many of you knew about it and how important it is. I'll also maybe talk a little bit more about the AU and the powers of the AU, and also the reach of the AU and how big the AU has grown since its inception, so you understand the importance okay? And the fact that we have representatives, honorables, okay, and heads of the justice, yeah, heads of justice and so on from different countries. This is serious now. Yeah, this is serious now. This is serious now. This is historical, okay? This is historical. I'm sorry if I didn't get to all of your comments today, but I wanted to share the information, okay? And I think it's so important. So I'm going to bid you goodbye, okay? And please, yeah, let's start making those, memes, making those posts, getting together, making those groups, starting those discussions, and seeing what can we do as individuals to help push the agenda of reparations forward, not just for this theme year of reparations and justice, but also for the decade of 2026 to 2036. In that time, let's get reparations. It's high time that we got reparations. There's no excuse for us not getting reparations. If we work together, if we work collectively, and if we do the right things, have the right strategy that have the right impact. Okay? So I'm going to love you and leave you and thank you. Remember to, questions, sorry. There was one question that I wanted to answer. The other one I can leave till next week. I hope you don't mind. Hang on, what was the question? Okay. So it was a very strange question I must happen to ask, but thank you for sending it to me. I appreciate it very much. And I'll do my best. In fact, I might do an impersonation to answer the question. So someone asked me if, it's a very strange question, asked me about the impact of repatriation. So they were talking, about me coming from England and encouraging other people to repatriate and to leave, to come to Africa. And she was asking me, what do I think, the view of the people that we're leaving behind is, especially when we call England a dump and all this kind of thing. So I'll just give you the impression of like an average Karen, okay? I'll call her Karen White Hat, because I've got white hat on today, okay? So this is what I think. This is her reaction. So if she was in an interview and you was to ask her, so I'm going to do a quick impersonation, okay, of what she thinks, So let's pretend, okay, so here's the interviewer. Interviewer says, so Karen, what do you think about BlaXit and all of these people leaving England to go back to Africa, saying England is a dump and all of this, and saying that Africa's better for them? What do you think, sort of thing? Okay, so this is Karen now. This is Karen, okay. Well, black people, like, they don't really belong here, do they? Like, I don't think so anyway. So, this is like, honestly, I don't think, like, they ever really wanted to come. They just come, like, to make money and leave. So, I don't really think that it really matters. I don't think it matters. I don't think they made a difference to our country and our economy, really. They tried to, like, take over our culture, which I don't agree with. So I'm happy they're going. Do you know what I mean? I think, like, they let too many of them in anyway. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, nearly 80% of the country now is, like, I heard, is, like, non-white. Like, can you imagine, like, England? And, like, they're bringing all their funny stuff, their music, and, you know what I mean? Their smelly food and all that. So I don't mind them going. Let them go back to Africa. I think that's where they belong. Do you know what I mean? And, okay, so the interviewer now. So, Karen, what do you think about England having a large percentage of its income from Africa, and Africans now saying that if they're going back, they no longer want us to benefit from that income? Well, I think that really they should, I think this is Karen saying, I think really that, if find escapers, isn't it? If it's ours, it's ours. Like, they ain't got no right to tell us to get out. They ain't. They ain't a double standard, I'm just saying. Like, we come and we found them like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and we got right to it. Like, you know what I mean? We helped them so much. They're ungrateful, aren't they, really? So, yeah, so that's the answer to the question. I think, right, like, that we ain't going to really affect us if they leave too much. You know, like, all right, taxes might go up a little bit, but there'll be more jobs, isn't it? More jobs for us if they go. So I think they should all go back to Africa. Yeah. So that's the answer to your question, okay? That's what I think that really their reaction would be. I don't think they really care. I think it's not about what they think, I think it's about what we think, and I think that's what's really important, okay? Because, you know, some people are just going to be racist through and through. Are you waiting for them not to be racist? What do you think? Race is just going to disappear? Boom. No, racism isn't going to disappear. You have to disappear. Okay, that's just it. The only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind and go and live with your own kind. Okay? So that's the last word. Okay? So that's what I think that they would think, to be honest with you, an average working class person. I don't think they even care. Okay? I don't think they even care. And I don't care whether they care. I care about you, and I care about you having the opportunity to come and live your peace, come and, you know, enjoy serenity, come and enjoy your people, come and live where your mind can be rested, you can have peace of mind. And there is no price on peace. Trust me, I love and protect and guard my peace. Okay? I love you all so much. Okay, I really do. And that's another thing, is that coming to Africa puts you back in love, back in love actually, with yourself and your heart space. Because you can see yourself not through somebody else's lens, but through your own eyes. And that is so important. Okay, so important. You're not living for other people, you're living for yourself. Okay, you don't need anyone's validation. You don't need anyone's acceptance. You don't need anyone's approval. And you don't need anyone's attention. Okay? Love yourself. Be yourself. And be happy in your own skin. Be happy in your own hair. Okay? Be happy in your own culture. And be happy to be African. And today is a wonderful day. It's an historical day. Okay? Today is where the richest black man is an African. Today is the day where all of African nations, Caribbean representatives, Pan-African representatives from Europe, Caribbean, all across the world, Melanesia, everywhere have converged in the Gambia for the 85th session, okay? Ordinary session. Okay, it is an amazing week, and I'm proud to say that the theme of 2025 is about our reparations and about our justice. And I'm proud to say that the decade of 2026 to 2036 is about our reparations. Okay? Okay? That's so important. So be proud. Today's program was a really relevant program, incredible program. And if you can, please share to other people. And remember, if you want to repatriate, we are repatriational specialists, and we can help you to make that all-important jump to Africa. So if you are interested in coming to Africa, investing in Africa, having a business in Africa, having a home in Africa, owning land in Africa, establishing an organization in Africa, then please get in contact with us. You can text us via WhatsApp on +220 240 5273. Okay, that's +220 240 5273. We're having a slight problem with the phone, but we're going to change that. The other phone's gone missing, so that's why I haven't changed over yet. So I will look for it and find it. But you can get in contact that way, or you can get in contact via info@blaxithome.com. That's the email. info@blaxithome.com. Okay, and yes, there are repatriation lands available that are still $1,000. Okay, so we're asking you to break the bank. Okay, and that is in the largest repatriation settlement here in the Gambia. So welcome home. Gambia is beautiful. Gambia is wonderful. Gambia is like a jewel in paradise. It's like living on a paradise island every day. Okay, so please just remember that Africa, right? You have you have a choice. You have a choice. You don't have to be there. And remember in last week's show, I showed you that, you know, living here was like 207 pounds a month, and living there was 2,730 something a month, something like that. I can't remember the figures, to be honest with you, but it was almost like 10 times more. Okay, so don't let them fool you, okay, by telling that you have to have and live in debt. You don't. Okay, I like living in a cash-based society, because cash is queen and cash is king to me, and they can't control you with their credit or what they want to do. Okay, so just think about that for the future. Okay, just think about that for the future. When they want to base these cashless societies where they can control you, control your money, control your whereabouts, and they're going to create these ID cards, they're going to stop you from having access here or there and everywhere. And don't forget what happened during COVID. Okay, so, you know, just saying, greetings as well, yeah, to you, Ivana Cole, greetings. Okay, if I missed your name, I am so sorry if I didn't say hello to you this week. Okay, come on next week, same time, 3 o'clock, and I will speak, give you a shout out. Hi to Mr. Muslim, how are you? Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so give thanks for joining. Thank you so much. And I hope you feel as empowered as I do. I hope you realize what a powerful, powerful, powerful week we are having, and how this event and how this new decade is really going to shape us, because we are going to make it the decade for reparations. We are going to make it. It's not just a theme of an organization. It's going to be something that we are going to create impact. We're going to create action, and we're going to get paid. We are going to get paid. 2026 to 2036, we're going to get paid out. Okay? We are going to get our reparations. We're going to get our reparatory justice, and we are going to get the return of our artifacts. Listen, it's our time, high time. I'm not playing, okay? Better make it so. We make it so. We create the reality that we want to see by the actions that we are going to create. And we're going to create such actions that it's going to be like a tsunami that's going to hit them so hard, they're going to wonder, yeah, were they sleeping? But our ancestors are awake. And our ancestors, you know what they want? Justice. Not just this, but justice. Okay? So more power to you. I love you all. Remember, we are one people, one Africa, one nation, one destiny, one love. Okay? I love you, and I'll see you again next week. More fire, bun it.